Okay, here's a little story about the time I robbed a church. Now, of course, this isn't a large-scale robbery. This is just a sort of little thing, at least between me and God. And it is because, and I know it's probably not right to blame the church for this, but they went and bought the one thing that at the age of 9 I wanted more than anything else in the world. And that was a little thing called a Chick-U-Bator. And what a Chick-U-Bator was a tiny plastic incubator shaped like a yellow flying saucer with a little dome top, the light bulb inside and a grid to hold the egg. And they sold these in the back of Boys Life, comic books, I think Popular Mechanics, that sort of thing. And to me, I would see this and go, this is the most futuristic, amazing thing in the world. And they always showed people with happy little quails, because you could order the eggs from that catalog and hatch out whatever you wanted. And so my Sunday school bought one. They never used it. It was one of those things that they bought in to torture potential criminals, which I probably was one. And the reality was that as time went on, I would ask about the Chick-U-Bator. Can we put eggs in the Chick-U-Bator? Can we order some quail eggs for the Chick-U-Bator? Can we do anything with the Chick-U-Bator? And it was always no, 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 because the church didn't want to teach me the miracle of life. Who knows why? So what I resolved to do was to steal the Chick-U-Bator. And I made a careful plan, because it's a little difficult when you have this thing about the size of a soccer ball that's bright yellow and looks futuristic, and you are a little kid in your church outfit with your little double knit trousers and everything. How do you hide it? Well, my thinking on the matter was, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get that Chick-U-Bator and hide it in my pants. So what I did is I made my little plan. I waited till there was a distraction. It was time for punch and cookies in Fellowship Hall, and I snuck down and I went into the closet and I got the Chick-U-Bator and I tucked it into my pants, which was no mean task, because it is literally the size of a soccer ball and looks like it's straight from the future, and there's really no way you can tuck an object that large into the pants of a 9-year-old and not look like something alarming is up. So what I did was to sort of tuck it in and down and under and behind and try all these different modes and a little bit of bow-legged walking and pull my pants down and have my shirt tails out, and somehow, which I think was actually a miracle in itself, I managed to put the Chick-U-Bator into my pants, walk through the church without being caught, walk through the parking lot without being caught, meet my family at the car without being caught, and ride home with this Chick-U-Bator in my pants. And when I got home, I bow-leggedly walked back to my room, extracted the thing, and immediately started looking up eggs. Saved up my money, taped it onto the order form, which you could do in those days, just a bunch of quarters. And not too long later, I got myself a single quail egg. That was all I wanted. Put it in my Chick-U-Bator, hid the Chick-U-Bator under the bed, and hatched myself a quail. And I was thinking I'd probably get away with this because I'd gotten away with everything else. The only problem being that there is a point where when your father would come into the room, the ultimate question would be, son, why is there a very small quail in your room? And I kind of looked around and said, what quail? He said, that quail. And you think about it for a while, and then you think, it is probably pretty unusual that you would have a quail in your room, because most people don't have a very small quail in their room. And ultimately, a barrage of lies I tried to erect in order to cover my robbery of the church failed to come to pass, and before long I was sitting in the office of the church with the Chick-U-Bator and my father, and the question that was asked of me, I think, is profound in its way, which is that the Reverend looked at me. This was Reverend Salango, a sort of august and repetitive figure, but nice, decent guy. He looked at me and he said, "Joe, what do you think Jesus would have said seeing you put a Chick-U-Bator in your pants and then take it home to hatch a quail?" And that's probably one of the first big religious conundrums I ever had to face, because I really had no idea what Jesus would have said had I been witnessed in the act of putting a Chick-U-Bator in my pants and secretly hatching a quail. And the funny thing about the story is I don't remember anything else but that conversation. I just remember being humiliated. The Chick-U-Bator went back to the closet. The quail disappeared. I think the argument was that I had demonstrated that I was probably not responsible enough to keep a pet. And we had people in the neighborhood who kept game birds, and it was just a matter of handing the quail off to one of them. Assuming that's what actually happened, instead of the quail going to one of those farms where everybody's unwanted pets always went. So that's it. I robbed a church, took the Chick-U-Bator, and created for myself a very small and very illegal quail.